What is up, agents, and welcome back to another Division video. One I expect might be a little bit spicy, as you probably guessed with the title. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe, hopefully, and let's get straight into it. So I wanted to discuss seasonal characters after today's presentation for the TU22 PTS. I've had a bit of a look around Reddit and we discussed it a little bit actually in my community Discord. You'll find the link down below in the description. But it doesn't really seem to be anyone's focus point right now. Kind of an idea that I've thought about. And I think a lot of people at the moment generally seem to be upset. They've seen a lot of red on some of the charts and, you know, some of the builds that they put together. Scorpio, you know, strikers and things like that. And they're seeing that these are all having nerfs. And, you know, that's kind of the focus point at the moment. But we've not yet got to test it. Yannick did say, you know, please hold off on kind of judging it until you've had a go, because there's a lot of buffs in other places with the gear and the seasonal modifiers and things like that. So they've had to pull some of them things back. And Strikers was always a bit of an outlier anyway. It was always way, way, way ahead. And although people might not appreciate me saying it, to pull it back a little bit, it's only been pulled back a tiny amount. You know, it's still king. So for it to be pulled back that much, is it really that bad? Well, probably not, but I guess we'll see, right? From the maths that I've done without any modifier knowledge, it seems that actually it's probably going to feel very much the same. But that's not what the video is all about. The video is all about seasonal characters, and if, as a community, we were too quick to judge. Though there was a huge backlash when seasonal characters was announced, and it seemed like 99.9% of the community was like, no, this is not for me, I'll stop playing, I do not want a seasonal character. And from the presentation today, I kind of feel like we needed one for this to kind of work as it was intended. Now, hold off on me for just a second and let me explain why. So when they were in the menus, and I'm going to pull up the video, I've actually pulled up at the wrong part. I wanted to pull it up at this part here. Now, Dario explained to us that the journeys, as they call them, you know, we've got journey 1, 2, 3 and 4, they all took place from you leveling up your character. So for us, with a level 40 character now going into it, we'll have them all available and we'll be able to work through them. But originally you was meant to progress your journey from 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the rest was more difficult. That's not such a big deal. But what I was concerned about was that at the moment, Yannick did say to us they've not yet decided what they're going to do with it. Doesn't feel like it'll come with this patch anyway. It doesn't feel like they've made a big enough decision. But originally we was getting a seasonal character. So obviously they've freed up resources. He mentioned that. But they've not decided what they're going to do with them resources now that we're not getting a seasonal character. And why I think that matters a little bit, and why I think I'm definitely on the side of them pushing them extra resources into an extra character slot, is because when we were looking at the modifiers, and we only saw very limited ones, and we'll see some tomorrow, but drawback, for instance, in the short range, weapon handling is increased by 50% of headshot damage while there are enemies within short range. Well, let's forget about the range modifier for now. But if there's going to be more modifiers that are affected by other stats that are on your build, we're definitely, you know, it seems almost positive to me that we're going to be building seasonal builds that are, you know, if we turn the seasonal modifiers off, actually they're not that great, because they've you know, they've been built on the requirements of the seasonal modifiers. So I'm not going to use that build if I'm running it in a global event. I'm not going to use that build if I'm running it without any modifiers on or no global event. And I currently don't have the space for this. So if you're like me, you played for like 5 years, you probably used all of your slots down the left hand side that have all your builds saved. You probably got none of them left. In fact, I don't have enough save slots. I haven't got enough stash space. Again, I'm a bit of a hoarder. I'm a content creator. Yes, all right, not everybody hoards as much as I do, but a lot of people do, you know, store gear for days like this when all of a sudden aces and eights could be brilliant again. And it feels like it's turning into a bit of a rant, but what I'm really suggesting is that the free resource, I don't want the stash space. I want the character slot, because that in turn gives me the stash space. You know, everyone uses probably, you know, at least one of their other character slots as a mule to store stash space and things like that. People I know even use different characters to put different builds on. One's a tank character, one's a heal character, one's a DPS character, because they've had time to develop them characters. So maybe let's take this one step better than, you know, obviously at the moment now they give us the chance to do all of this on our main character, and that was the main focus of the kind of backlash from the community. Well, all right, let's keep that as a positive and let's keep that as it is now. But I really feel like we need that extra slot so that I can then develop that character into one of my main characters, but then use all of the save slots, all of the gear that I know and love from my stash already and things like that. But I can use that as my seasonal character. I've got a whole bunch of free slots in there that I can make seasonal builds, and when it comes to the end of the season, the next season shows up, they're all trash, well, it doesn't matter. I can just delete them all and go again and build a new set of seasonal builds. I feel like as now, a lot of people who've been long-term players, if a lot of these, you know, the short range buffs, the long range buffs and things like that, if a lot of these modifiers are dependent on stats you are very likely to build a build in that way. And I think it could be completely off meta for what we have in the build normally. And if you log in for a day and you think, I don't want to use any of the seasonal modifiers today, well, okay, well, it doesn't matter, but I'm not got the space to keep that build. I've not got the space to create that build. I don't want to be swapping gear around. Now, obviously, I could be completely wrong. There could be just this one modifier drawback and none of the rest could act like this, but I think it's highly likely that we'll at least want to build one or two seasonal type builds, and the space for that for me is crucial. And I think it obviously leans towards the fact that this wouldn't have been a problem. Stash for it, save slots for, you know, for loadouts and things like that would not have been a problem if we had a seasonal character, because we had the seasonal character. We'll have got you know, they already told us that we probably would have got a stash space for it. We would have got a, you know, a whole set of save slots for gear. So, you know, I think that is where they have kind of met, you know, expectations here, I guess, with people not wanting the seasonal character in the game. I think you can still see the drawback to where it was aimed and where it started off as being, you know, for seasonal characters. We saw that when they said they've removed the leagues. You know, the leagues would have stayed in the game for non-seasonal characters and would have been available, you know, during the season for your non-seasonal character, but now they've had to be removed completely because they can't fit them in, you know, with how this seasonal characters, well, how the seasonal modifiers work. So, and it's a bit of a shame that I feel like, you know, we can turn the seasonal activities off. So could we not have just had it that when you start a league, the seasonal events just turn off? Maybe that was too complicated. I don't know. But they said as of now, leagues have gone and will return as something else in a later date. So I just feel like there is still that kind of little bit of a throwback to what it was. But I'm interested to know what you guys think in the comments. I know it's a touchy subject, and I don't really want to get into the fact that people don't want seasonal characters, because that's not happening anymore. That's gone. That's you know, that's something we'll never see now. Seasonal characters are another thing. They confirmed that today. That's not coming back. So that's fine. But now we're left with what this brand new thing is, and this brand new thing actually looks really good. I was very impressed today. The new menus look good. A lot of work seems to have gone into it. A lot of the new gear look very good. I'm a bit hesitant about some of the red numbers and nerfs that we saw, but until we get it in our hands over the next couple of days, it's going to be pretty hard to tell how that actually feels and looks. Something that looks like on paper doesn't always, you know, turn out to be as bad as what it is in the game. It actually turns out to be good. For instance, M1A is not at the top of my rifle, you know, best in slot list, but we actually know for a fact when you get it in the game, because of how much enemy health has and things like that, it's actually one of the best in slots. So yeah, I'm definitely interested to see how some of them changes play out. But let me know what you think about seasonal characters. Did we cut it off too early? Should we have tried it? Should we have got to at least this point before we raged with their pitchforks and said get rid of it? Or would now have been too late? Who knows? You know. But I am interested to see what, you know, a few months later down the line, and now after seeing this today, do we think it would have been best with a seasonal character, or do we just need more stash space, and do we just need more save slots? Essentially, you know, give us that 5th character slot, and then we can do it like that. I guess I could do it anyway, right? I could delete my 4th character and put it in there, but then I use that for Warney runs, and then I need stash space with the other ones, so it's kind of catch-22. But I think for me, I think we definitely need that extra character slot. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Slightly ranty video. I don't mean it to be ranty. I'm very happy with what we've seen so far today, but I am interested to think, you know, what are people's points and thoughts on it now, and would this have been best, you know, with a seasonal character? Do we think in hindsight it would be or not? I don't really think it is. I think it's kind of good as it is. I just think the whole character slot and stash space needs looking at, I guess. That's going to be it for the video. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I look forward to hearing from you in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.